I think I'm gonna show you the time, and you're gonna tell me if it's a reasonable time for me to be up. Let me stop playing around, bro. Cool, calm. It's currently... Do I need to say anything? No, not really, because I had clinicals today. Technically, today was the day that I had clinicals, and I had no sleep that night before I had clinicals. We're not even gonna talk about it because I literally was in my bed, finished my patient prep, everything. I was in my bed, had one of these night masks on. Could not fall asleep. Yeah, no. Let's hope that doesn't repeat itself. Obviously I messed up my sleep schedule because I was up the whole day, and then I came back home after clinical just for me to get on my bed and knock the hell out after doing laundry. Like, well, it is what it is. Anyways, you're probably wondering, girl, what the hell are you doing in the washroom and why are you bringing me here? Like, really and truly, like, if I'm gonna be up, I might as well be productive. Like, and I thought I was already gonna make an episode for y'all for my little podcast or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Let me just do it because I've been low-key postponing like making the video. Cool, calm, but there's gonna be a little twist. Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Because over here on my channel, we keep it interesting. Like, I should probably be working towards trying to fix my sleep schedule, but with the way I have deadlines due, listen, some sleep is going to be sacrificed. I hate to say it because if I'm gonna be sleeping through the day, I gotta be working through the night. It ain't no sleeping throughout the whole time that I'm here. Like, when am I gonna get my work done? Like, I hate to say it, but maybe fixing my sleep schedule is looking like a future issue. Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Today I'm just gonna be talking about confidence. Yes. Wait, before I do that, I'm gonna be doing something else too. I'm actually gonna be, Lord have mercy, y'all, the growth that I have on this damn locks. It is outrageous, and I have been doing everything in my power to avoid it. But I can't keep avoiding it because the more my hair grows, the more of an issue it becomes. I need to do my freaking lock retwist. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Not retwist, but reties. I'm not really that good. Like I don't care enough to have like proper parts, if that makes sense. Like, girl, it's never that serious. For me at least. Like right now, for me, it's never that serious. But I need my hair to be somewhat like presentable. Like, anyways, I don't even know what to say, but I thought, why not talk about one of the podcast episodes that I've been wanting to do for a hot minute, which is just about confidence in general, like how I got it, how I developed it, how my confidence was back then. And yeah, while I literally try and redo my hair, like, y'all don't even look at the method that I'm doing stuff. Like, I really don't know what the hell I'm doing. If you're coming to this video thinking you're gonna know how to do a retie, like, this is not the video because I do not know jack shit about hair. I don't even want to do it. Like I've been literally begging my friends, like, I'm so sorry, but you need to come and do my hair because I don't want to sit here and do my own hair. Like, you so for real. I don't have much. I recently bought rosemary and castor oil. I usually have like this wild growth hair oil that I use only on my hair because it already has like a mix of oils so that I don't have to mix the oils myself. But you know, you gotta work with what is still because this is Kingston and we don't really got access to a lot of those things here. Like, you so serious. And then I'm gonna be using this. I'll probably be using this, the edge of this, because maybe I might part, maybe like, it depends. It'll help me, you know, split up the yeah, I told you this ain't no tutorial. I don't know why I'm telling y'all. And then I got my handy dandy spray bottle with just literally just water. Like, I don't put anything in it. At home I have different oils, so I'll probably put those oils in my water if I like have that one main oil that I use on a day-to-day on my hair. But for now, because I don't have that, I'm just literally just using cold water. So you know what's so crazy? Last night when I literally could not go to sleep, I was like, you know what, if I'm not gonna go to sleep, I might as well just be on my phone. Like, so that's what I did indeed. And I was going through my Google Photos and I realized like how far I come in terms of confidence. Like, ooh, I've come like a very long way. Like, if I were to rate my confidence right now, like on an average, not like right now, like, oh, at this moment, girl, actually at this moment I'm eating down. Like, shit, I'm a 10 out of 10. On an average, I would say like my confidence has like been very, very high. Like, I would literally rank my confidence at a freaking 8.5, like 9, you know? But it's crazy to think that I didn't always used to be like this. And it took a lot of self-diving and, like, you know, conversations with God in order for me to be like, you know what, if you can see me like this, shit, then I must be in down, like, we so serious. Okay, I feel like I need to explain myself and articulate myself a lot more better in my thought process. Like, yes, that's what the basis was, but I feel like I need to explain myself so it doesn't seem like I'm coming off cocky and this is like actually what I think. So, cool calm, I genuinely believe that everybody is beautiful. Every one of God's creations is beautiful, and if I'm one of God's creations, why should I think otherwise of myself? That's just my thought process, you know what I'm saying? I look at the world and I look at the things that he created, but it's just like, why should I feel any different about myself if he also took his time to create me? You know what I mean? I look at myself and I'll be like, you didn't even try hard. What are you talking about? Yes, he did. It's just about rewiring your brain into thinking things that they should be rather than just seeing it from your perspective, because I hate to say it, sometimes your perspective is wrong. God's perspective ain't wrong. It's always right. You know what I mean? It never changes. God has never changed with his intentions. So why would he change all of a sudden with his intentions when he created you? It don't make no sense. Like, but your feelings about yourself and how you perceive yourself always changes. So really and truly, who should you be trusting? Because I know it's not yourself. Like, you know what I mean? I know it's not yourself that you trust in to make the decision about whether or not you look pretty or you look a certain way and how you feel about yourself. Because the way you feel about yourself, you always change it. I wake up today and I'll be like, oh my God, you know, and then tomorrow morning, if I don't feel that way, I'm gonna say, oh, I don't feel this good, you know what I mean? And it's valid for you to feel those ways, but just know that your feelings about yourself are very inconsistent and they're very objective based off of what you feel. But like, yeah, I remember growing up and like not being that confident. I literally saw a video, and halfway through the video, we had to cut it because I was like, oh, I hope I don't look ugly in this video.
Let's begin.
I hope I don't look ugly.
Thank you for interrupting the entire shot by saying, I hope I'm not ugly. A host of 2020, everybody. Let's give it up for a host.
I hope I don't look ugly.
Okay. Girl, be so serious. You could not look ugly. Like, you eating down right now. At least me, I'm seeing the myself back then, and I'm like, you eating down right now. But it's just like, what in my right mind would make me say something like that? You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I would say that when I was like in elementary school, my confidence was not there, and I think it also had a lot to do with my environment. It's very surprising because when I look on internet and like when I hear like, you know, black women and their experiences growing up, especially black women who lived in like areas where it was like predominantly white or not predominantly POC kind of area. Yeah, no, for like black women who haven't gotten exposed to that, they tend to have like a lot of traumas when it comes to like, oh, you know, how they look and their confidence and all that, because they didn't see anybody that was around them like that, you know what I mean? But it's so weird because I grew up in a very predominantly like, not black, but very predominantly POC. Like, it was mainly black and brown people I was surrounded by, like in elementary school, in middle school. High school is a little different story, and I'm gonna get to that. But I didn't grow up in a predominantly white area. Like, it was very much POC. But I think one of the things that played a huge role in like my confidence was, you know, growing up in general and developing and seeing how other people were treated. I think it's pretty clear how colorism runs in the black community. Like, back then at least, it was crazy. I don't think I see it now. Like, you know, there's obviously like growth that's happened since then, you know what I mean? Colorism was definitely a thing, and it was like very subconscious almost back then too. Obviously when you're growing up, like, you just kind of start peeping things, to be honest. And I think back then, you know, when you start growing up, obviously you start getting interested in like like people who you think you would start getting interested in. And obviously I was starting to get interested in boys and all that stuff, but all them damn in my but all the damn black guys in my freaking school were only down and jiggy with the light-skinned people. Like, that's what really it was. And I remember like all the girls who tend to be like in like relationships and like all this other stuff, they're all light-skinned. Like, what's going on? And I've had literally black guys tell me to my face, you're not it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? And a large part of that had to do with the fact that I was literally a dark-skinned black girl. Like, honestly, like, I don't even know how I perceive that, to be honest, because when I was younger, I was a very outspoken person. I was like class clown, let's just say that. Like, I got along with most people, emphasis on most because I'm also about to say something too. But yeah, no, when it came to like people viewing me as something more than just, you know, being a funny person, it was like, hell no, you stay funny like you are, like, you know what I mean? And I compensated that in my life. I feel like if you grew up being the ugly girl, like you tend to build your personality, I guess. Your personality tends to be something that people tend to like more, if that makes sense. Yeah, that was my case. Guys, I can't even see the back of my head and I'm feeling some splits and I'm feeling like the growth is growthing. Like, as you can see, I can't see the back of my head, so whatever happens to the back of my head is none of my business. Like, I'm just trying to get it retwisted, to be honest. Oh, Lord have mercy, that water is cold. I love it. Honestly, I was just a funny girl. Like, that's just literally what it was. I was also very outspoken. Like, you know, the little boys I had crushes on back then in the day, like, I used to tell them, like, I had no shame in my game, for real. Like, I've literally had people literally blatantly say to my face, like, you're ugly, you're but ugly. It wasn't what made me, like, think that. It was more so comparison. When you start to grow up and you start to compare yourself to other people, the people I was comparing myself to was the light-skinned girls that the guys wasn't attracted to. Like, that's literally what it was. But I think what made it even worse is the fact that I had my own people. Like, okay, let me not even get into details, but let's just say as a kid I was bullied. Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, all the way to freaking grade 6, girl. I was bullied the hell out of life. You know what I mean? But the people who did bully me back in the day were dark-skinned girls. Like, and they would also make those comments. They'd be like, oh, you're ugly, da da da. They would call me frog eyes, this and that and the third. Like, if you saw me when I was younger, or like if you see now, my eyes are very, very big. And that was one of the things that people would always make a comment on and be like, oh, like, girl, you got frog eyes, you got big ass eyes, da da da. But it's so crazy because when I was around my family, that was something that they complimented me for. Like, they're like, oh, you got big eyes, like, or like they would say you have small mouth, small nose, small ears, small head, big eyes, like as like a cute type of thing, you know? But it was crazy to come into like a society where it's like that wasn't like deemed something like attractive or like things like that. Or like at least the people I was around, they was, you know, they were making butt ugly jokes about me, about my appearances and all that other stuff. But it was my own people that was making it. So you can obviously tell my mindset back then, like I was very deep entrenched in the mindset of like wanting to be accepted by society. And I feel like the comparison from me back then and comparison from me now is like, I don't care, I will step out butt ugly and I will not care. Like, because really and truly, who are you to tell me what I feel about myself? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be the one having to deal with how I feel about myself. So why should your inputs have anything to do with how I feel about myself? You get what I'm saying? But yeah, back then, obviously, I didn't have that mindset. Literally, I'm over here yapping, and I can't even do a damn retie. Be so serious. You guys are probably like, girl, did you say you was gonna do your hair? It's literally like 1:03 in the midnight. Like, be so serious. You know, I had black girls telling me, oh, you look ugly, and literally be fully my bullies have an input on my life. And it's so crazy because I know that they probably was going through the same thing, but it's just so crazy because these girls were also like older than me, but they had like so much to say. Anyways, we're not gonna talk about the fact that I was bullied as a child. Like, I've already gotten over it. I think it's just so crazy back then. Obviously, like when you think about it, of course my like perception of myself was gonna be like weird because I was surrounding myself with people who just didn't know what beauty was. Like, beauty is on the inside. I feel like I'm like that type of person where I genuinely feel like there's a lot of people out here that are actually genuinely beautiful, and all these like societal factors is what are affecting their perception of themselves, you know what I mean? And that just really went on throughout my elementary school and middle school experience. Just trying to be accepted for things I just could not change about myself. But then I feel like in my confidence took a huge turn when I got into high school. Definitely a different experience for me. It was more so just trying to get by in school. I hate to say it, but you know, middle school I was a little troublemaker, so I was just trying to keep my head down and do what I needed to do and graduate. That was my vibe. Like, that's what I was on. You know, I counted my locks the other day. I have, and I quote, 79 locks in my head. But you know what made me so mad about the unevency? There's 40 on this side, 39 on this side. Be so serious. Like, it is what it is. I had a goal in high school. Like, my goal was to go into high school, do the classes I needed to do, you know, graduate, high marks, and that was it. Like, that was really my goal, just because of my experiences previously. Let's just say I wasn't making good choices when I was in high school. I went to a predominantly white school. It wasn't supposed to be. I need to preface this because when I had first applied to the school, my best friend at the time, still my best friend now, but her siblings went to that school, and it was a predominantly black school. I went to a visual arts school, but when I went there, I don't know what happened because things changed, because that year was predominantly white people. I was so shookest. So it literally took me 27 minutes to do one lock of strand, bro. I'm literally gonna end myself. I'm joking. I'm not going to. Let me stop making jokes like that. High school experience honestly was such a freaking blur. When COVID hit, I would say it's so crazy. I'm talking about it right now because for COVID, for a lot of people, was very traumatizing. And I found that COVID was the time that I grew the most. Literally, it was a season of isolation for me. You do not understand, bro. Having to keep myself entertained, skis. Oh, in a room by yourself. I mean, I had my siblings in my room, but it's just there was a lot of things going on in my head, ski, you know what I mean? It was just really a lot of me learning who I am during that time frame because let's be so expeditiously for real, I did not know. And that was also the time where I started really delving into my relationship with God and really trying to commit and make promises, and really just change my life in general, because it's I don't know who to talk to right now, and the only person I can talk to right now is you, God. Be so serious. So yeah, that was it. And I remember having a major identity crisis, but then also having this thing where I had undeniable confidence in who I was. It was literally so crazy. And when I think about it, I think about how much of a fever dream it is that I experienced that, because it was just I didn't have to step outside and have the whole world tell me what they felt about me. You know what I mean? I would literally have to wake up and be sitting in my thoughts and the things that God had told me at the time. Looks did not matter, but it was crazy because back then I would say looks wise, I was the most confident because I knew who I was, or I was developing this feeling of I know who I am now, you know what I mean? After having these many conversations with God and just, really deep diving into that was when I was oh my gosh, I could confidently sit down here right now and tell you I'm a 10 out of 10. I can even explain what I feel confidence means to me. I should have maybe started with that, but okay, girl, you just running over there. But let's rewind, let's backtrack, because clearly I didn't say this before, but confidence to me, I know people say this all the time, but it's just being unapologetically yourself and being okay with that, you know what I mean? Being content with how you are as a person, not just looks wise, but all well-roundedness. I can step outside and be confident in the way that I, respond to certain conflicts, and the way I keep myself held high. When I think about it, every single time I step out this house, I want people to feel the goodness of God and what he can do. So it's okay, cool, calm. That is where my confidence comes from. My confidence comes from knowing that God has me and that he has been protecting me. Okay, cool, calm. But that other people can also experience God's will and God's greatness through the things that I am able to do, you know what I mean? That's where my confidence comes from. During COVID time, when I was stuck in my room and literally sit with myself and think about my life and think about my life was the time that I really, was able to introspect on my life. You know what I mean? Y'all, I can't see the back of my head and it's kind of making me mad, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I don't need to be mad, because this is a learning curve. This is a learning process. I'm surprised that I have this much energy, but I'm also not that surprised because I literally slept after clinical. I knocked the heck out. I was gonna fall asleep for 30 minutes and put an alarm. Clearly that alarm didn't wake me up. But I was really doing some crazy introspection work, and I remember coming out of COVID and being I hate this shit. Actually, God, we need to go back into this COVID stuff. I don't want to have to interact with new people, but honestly, I was wait, I kind of like being inside and having my conversations with you. How's my life gonna look now that I'm not forced to have those conversations with you, But I think that was another learning curve on its own, just making the time for the people that you love, I really don't know what to say about high school for real. because there was nothing else. But I remember coming outside of like COVID and then having to go back into the whole like school aspect. I would tell you after COVID, I don't know what happened. Oh, I rebuke in the name of Jesus, but you know, the spirit of anxiety was there. Like it was just hitaka. And I feel like I still have trouble with anxiety, but it's not like to the point where it affects my life. Yeah, back then I came outside, I was like, okay, I learned so much about myself, say less, I'm ready to conquer the world. Hell no. Anxiety said, get your ass back in the house. You ain't ready to step outside. That's what they told me. And I said, oh, I'm sad. For a moment. And then I was like, you know what, never mind. I'm not sad. Because who are you to tell me? The hell? I don't even know how to put it into words. Like, you just start to think too much about day-to-day things that shouldn't be thought about. Or like, should not be analyzed in the way that I was analyzing. Like, even now, sometimes I find myself like, oh my gosh, I really want to eat, but I have to leave my room to eat. And that would mean I have to do this to eat. And like, there's just so many like unknowns in the possibilities of what could happen that it makes me not go out and eat. After COVID happened, it was hard to implement the things that I had learned into my life. It was very, very hard. Even though I could talk to my mom about it, like, my mom has this type of energy, this undeniable confidence that just cannot be replicated. Like, so if I talk to her about how I felt anxious about certain things, she'd be like, girl, what the hell are you talking about? Like, why would you feel anxious? And then she'll list the things of the reason why I shouldn't feel anxious. Like, girl, be so serious. But I feel like I was like dealing a lot with like having to apply what I had learned during my COVID era and being alone into the real life world. And that was definitely hard. I was in a box, okay? A box, and it was just me and God, okay? So obviously the only person I'm focused on is what God thinks about me, like. But then he's like, all right, say less. You've done your work. You've grown. Now you have to, you know, keep applying this into your life. So he opened up the boxes. And when he opened up the box, I was like, actually, no, can we put the walls back up? Can we put the walls back up? I don't like this. I'm feeling a lot of eyes on me right now. I don't like this. It was really giving that. So it was me still staying in that area, hoping for God to like put these walls back up. But God is like, girl, what the hell is you talking about? Get your ass out of there. University was a chance for me to really apply that to my life. Because I needed a change of scenery. I needed to, like, ooh, what the hell? Is there a gap in my lock? We not about to do that. Oh, it's not a gap. Oh my God, my heart almost dropped right there. My heart almost dropped right there. I don't know how to put this into words, because right now, I'm in university, and for the first 2 years of being in university, I was having those like thoughts and those feelings, like, what do these people think about me? Those feelings are not big enough for me to feel not confident in myself. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of stopped caring about like what other people thought. When I didn't have locks, bro, I would step outside my hair not done. I did not care. Listen, one thing about me, I'm a heavy minimalist. If I'm gonna sit down and make myself look presentable, I'm gonna be making myself, like, let's say I wake up in the morning, I take a shower, I do my little skincare. Those are things for me to feel good about. It's like self-care. You're caring for yourself. But I think when I first got into uni, I didn't understand self-care. The difference between me being in first year and the difference in me being in my third year right now is the fact that back then I just didn't care enough to look presentable so that I could be accepted by society, but I also wasn't doing the things that would make me feel good about myself. You need to still have self-care. Like, yes, I didn't care, but I wasn't also willing to put in the effort to make myself feel good about myself. Like, I was gonna wake up in the morning, look at myself in the mirror, do whatever I needed to do, but I wasn't making myself presentable for myself because I just felt like I wasn't worth it almost. Like, not that I felt like that I wasn't worth it, but I felt like I had other things to focus on. Whereas like now I think about how self-care plays a huge role in your confidence, and I just feel like if you're gonna wake up and feel good about yourself, you should Make yourself feel good about yourself, not in the eyes of somebody else, but in the eyes that you look at yourself and you're like, oh, I want to do this because this is what's going to make me appreciate myself. You get what I'm saying? I already had the basis understanding that I shouldn't care for what other people think of me, in terms of looks at least, you know? I shouldn't care about those things, because at the end of the day, the only person that should feel good about what you're feeling was yourself. Whereas like now, I wake up in the morning, I do the self-care, sit down like right now at freaking ripe time of 1:40. I've literally been like, neglecting my hair, and now I'm sitting down and now I'm taking the time to do my hair, because although it doesn't matter enough to me if my hair really does grow out like that, it just shows how much I care about myself in general, not what other people think. I'm retying my locks not because other people are gonna think that I look good in a retie. I'm retying my hair because it makes sense for me to do it so that I can feel my best when I wake up in the morning. I don't know if that makes sense, guys. I don't know if I'm wording it right. So yeah, like that's where I'm at right now when it comes to my confidence. Guys, I'm literally still on the first row, guys. Still on the first row. Okay, I didn't say all this just to say all this. As much as I hate to say it and as much as people say it all the time, you just not need to care. Easier said than done to not care about what other people think, but it genuinely plays a huge role in your ability to just be confident in yourself. If you're worried about what other people think, obviously the way you treat yourself is the way you feel like you need to treat yourself to satisfy other people. But you're the one who's gonna have to live with yourself. So yes, you're doing this and that and the third so that you can look presentable for the whole world to see, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to come back into your home, go back into your bed, and have to deal with yourself. So really and truly, who are you doing it for? Guys, my recording just stopped because it said the maximum recording time, just so think. This is what makes the most sense to me and how I'm making it make sense in my head, okay? So cool calm. We all know that, you know, God thinks very highly of us. The way he treats us and the way that he loves us just shows how much he cares for us. It's crazy to think that there's so many people out in this world that do things that you wouldn't think, you know, are very like good for a person to do, but God still loves them unconditionally. If God is willing to care for you and love for you and cherish you and love you the way that he does, even with all the stuff that you did, I feel like sometimes you just gotta give yourself grace and try and do that for yourself. You know what I mean? Try and love yourself the way that God loves you. You know, it's not gonna be as perfect, it's not gonna be as big, but it's definitely something, and I feel like that plays a huge role in like somebody's confidence in general. If you really think about it, look, this is really my mindset for real. I'm gonna give you the buck with y'all right now, okay? Who are you to tell yourself that you're ugly? Like, who are you really? Like, who are you really? You're like, oh my gosh, I wake up in the morning, oh, I'm so ugly. Da-da-da-da. Okay, you talk about something, you're so ugly, but you can't change how you look. You have to wake up every single day in this life and have to look the way that you look. So you're going to basically go through pain and have to think about your looks your whole life. Just because you don't look like a certain person that you're comparing yourself to. Keep it a bug for real, like, let's be so for real. You know, having like insecurities, yes, it's okay to have insecurities, but I feel like you should embrace your insecurities. Listen, I was growing up, people was telling me I have frog eyes, big ass eyes. I look at them now, and yes, there might be an insecurity, but I'm thinking, who could pull this look the way that I do? Nobody. God made me the way that I look because he knew that I would look good the way that I look. You get what I'm saying? Now I'm over here talking about some, oh, now I want small eyes. Be so serious. I feel like having small eyes is not going to do much for me. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to make much of a difference. You're made the way that you are for a reason. You know what I mean? I hate to say it, but you were literally wonderfully made in the eyes of God. Like, who are you to tell yourself that you don't look good? Like, seriously. Like, I'm telling you, eyes, eye to eye, eye to eye. If you think that you're ugly, trust me, you're not. You know what I mean? You just have a very warped perception of yourself. You need to do some introspection about the way that you feel that you look, because clearly you're not seeing what I'm seeing. The way you treat yourself is the way that you're going to start to believe. If you're saying all these bad things about yourself in the day, of course you're gonna look bad. Girl, you've been saying it in your head the whole time, and now it's stuck in your brain. It's stuck in your frontal cortex. You know what I'm saying? And also, be able to take a freaking compliment. If you're able to wake up in the morning and say, I look good, and say, thank you, like, I really do be looking good, and take that compliment, it plays a huge role in just how you walk in the day. Like, just do the little things, you know? You're not gonna look like that model that you see on freaking social media. You're a completely different person, and that's okay for you to be a completely different person. You don't need to compare yourself to this next person because you're yourself. That same person you feel that probably looks the way that you want to look is probably hoping to look a different way. I feel like at this point I'm just yapping and rambling, so I should probably just shut up. Literally, I should just shut up. I do want to say this though. I think just to finish it off, your confidence isn't always going to be linear. It's okay for you not to feel your best in certain days. If you have to work harder to make yourself feel better, or sometimes just sit in it and be like, it's okay for me not to feel good today. You know what I mean? It's okay not to be okay, literally. And just not internalizing it and making it a huge part of your life, you know, that affects other things. I'm going to have days where I wake up and I just genuinely feel like shit. And it's okay for me to either work hard to try and make myself feel better about it, or just accept it and be like, it's okay. And then start to think about why you're thinking the thoughts that you're thinking. Why do you feel like you don't look good today? What can you do about that thing to make you feel look good today? You know what I mean? Dig deeper into your thoughts. Like, you know, people don't like to like really introspect for real, but like introspection is a huge way for you to learn why you think the way that you think and reflect on that, and you know what I mean, and make changes in your life. If you're waking up in the morning and you're saying that you don't feel good and you can't even pinpoint why you don't feel good, it's an issue, babe. It's an issue, and you need to start searching and deep diving, because you're not going to be saved after that. Like, I hate to say it. I hate to wake up and say it. Like, you know what I mean? Because, you know, like, if you think about insecurities, a lot of people say, oh, I don't like my hip dips. And then they start to compare it to people who don't have hip dips. Okay, girl. Okay, girl, like, shit. I hope you guys, like, took something from this. I don't know. I look like a bum half of it, but it's okay. Because I'm gonna eat down after I retwist my hair. Yo, I have way too much energy. It's 2 a.m. Oh my gosh, bro. So basically, it's the next day. I actually did end up going to sleep at like 4 a.m. Woke at 9 involuntarily, don't know why. But yeah, so I woke up in the morning and I was like, you know what, let me just start doing this hair because I already started, and if I put my hair back in a bun, it's never going to be touched until weeks later. So I was like, you know what, let me lock in and try and get this thing done. As you can see, I'm almost done. Like, I literally have only a couple left. You can see how much growth I have. Like, this is how much I've grown, and the last time I retied my hair was like a month ago, I think. So, and then you can also see like in the front with some of my like old ones, there's not much growth, because in the front I tend to do like retie them occasionally so it doesn't look too messy, even though the back, like I say, like out of sight, out of mind. Like, if I can't see the back, then it's not my problem. But yeah, like, I'll show y'all the end result after, but I'm loving it now. Like, I feel fresh, brand new when I'm not even nothing. Yeah, I feel like it's only fair that I show you the end product of my hair. I didn't do the front like 3, so it's not that fresh in the front, but other than that, like, it's pretty good, pretty chill. I'm watching a YouTube video and it was just playing in the background, like, be so serious. Anyways, I need to get ready, like, yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Okay, bye.